Tom O'Brien, Master Herbalist at Empowering Medicine, is my motto, here to empower you through the empowering benefits of plant medicine and food as medicine. And today I'm talking to you about 10 reasons why we can become depressed. Number one, we can lose confidence. Yes, we can lose confidence, not just in ourselves, but in aspects of our lives, in our relationship, in our work, in our college, in our understanding of ourselves, in the perception of our body, how we see ourselves, how we feel, how we think. Confidence is not just one state of mind. Yes, I have confidence, therefore all is well. No, I can feel confident about certain aspects of my life. I can feel confident about how I look. I can feel confident about how I communicate. Or I can feel confident about my job or about my hobbies. But I may not be confident socially. I may not be confident in relationships. So confidence is not just one experience. Confidence is multi-layered, and we can lose confidence in key aspects of our lives. And when we lose confidence in our ability to relate, for example, our ability to communicate, and we can feel isolated, this can lead to depression. So the key here is to explore your self-confidence, to explore how you understand confidence and how you understand yourself. What is the strong points in your life? What are your strong points? What do you like about yourself? There's a starting point. What do you like about yourself? What do you feel good about? There's the things you feel confident about. And the things you don't feel confident about are things you can begin to work on. So if confidence is an issue affecting your depression, there's a solution. Explore ways of building confidence in your life. The second reason we can become depressed is we lose hope. For whatever reason you find yourself in a situation and you can't see a way out, you've lost hope. You begin to think that nothing will change, that this will always be the situation, that you'll always feel like this, you'll always feel trapped. But that's not the case. That's why we have hope. Hope is believing that the sun will rise beyond the horizon each morning. We'll set and we go into the darkness, but the light will come. As a metaphor, the sun rising and setting is the rhythm of life. There's light and dark, and we need to live with the dark. It's not all light and goodness. We need to live with the dark within ourselves and around us. Hope is something really, really important, and hope is something that we need to build for ourselves. It's not something that we necessarily have automatically. It's something we need to invest in, to nurture and to build hope. So no matter how low you become, no matter how bad you feel some days, hope will come. Hope rises, a new day dawns, and hope rises again. Think about your understanding of hope. Where does hope come from? How can you nurture hope? And how can you build hope in your life? It's a mentality, I suppose, to have hope, to believe in hope, and to think with hope. It's to really think positive about the future. No matter what happens today, tomorrow will bring something good. And then we begin to look for that good. So hope is possible. You can build hope. The third reason we can become depressed is because we play safe with our lives. What I mean by this is that we don't take risks. We live a comfortable life. We've developed habits that are okay, that meet our needs, but we exist and play and create within a certain boundary in our life. So we define ourselves in a certain way that becomes very much habitual. To play safe and not to take risks may be serving you well, but at some point in our lives, the rules of the game change. We wake up someday and suddenly we don't know how to cope. We don't know what to do. Something has changed, like the rug has been pulled from under our feet. And this can happen because we expect life to be one linear process, going straight in a straight line, either into success, into happiness, into a better life. But life is not linear. Life is complex. It goes around in circles. We can find ourselves in a maze. Life is full of unexpected experiences. And if we play safe, then we may not be able to cope. We may not have the resilience, the skills to cope with change when it comes. So one of the ways we can think about ourselves to protect ourselves from depression and to overcome depression is to explore how do we define our own lives? How do we define our own life purpose? And in what way do we want to live? And maybe what risks can you take today? Meeting new people can be a big risk. Going to a new group can be a big risk. This is not playing safe. Exposing yourself, telling your story to somebody in therapy or to a friend is not to play safe. Taking risks with your identity, overcoming a very fixed way of thinking about yourself is not to play safe. So I encourage you, if you do play safe, maybe explore that and maybe begin to take some small risks as a way of overcoming your present state of depression or building protection and resilience for the future. The fourth reason we can become depressed is we become static. It's a little bit like playing safe, but in becoming static, we just become very routine. We exist within a certain routine that doesn't change very much. We meet the same people, we eat the same food, we watch the same programs, we follow the same path when we go for a walk or jog or whatever. We sit in the same seat if you go to church, or whatever it is about becoming static. Life can become static. We can find ourselves following a very pattern way of living that is, again, can serve us and meet our needs, but at a certain point we might find that it doesn't meet our needs, and suddenly life has become boring, the zest is gone out of life, the spark and the vitality is gone out of life, and we might realise we need to reevaluate. And overcoming depression is about reevaluating. And what's the opposite to being static? It's being maybe active, proactive, vibrant. I think vibrancy, to bring vitality and vibrancy back into your life, you've got to develop new habits, new hobbies, meet new people and do new things to overcome depression. The fifth reason we can become depressed is because we lose love. We can lose a relationship, a friendship, we can fall out with a friend, we can lose friends. We can lose friends through death, we can lose family. Family and friends are very close to us, very much part of helping to shape our identity, giving us love and support. And when we lose love, there's nothing more depressing and sad and painful. And it's the reality of life that we will lose love in our life. If you love, you're going to lose love. That's part of the nature of love, is that love provides us the security and the comfort that we need deep within ourselves. And when we lose an experience of that with a person, we lose that person, we can feel deep loss within ourselves and we can become depressed. It's a natural state, and I think depression should not be understood as an unnatural state. Depression, in my understanding, in my view, is that it's a natural response to life situations. The deeper we become depressed is a result of maybe ignoring the early warning signals that can lead to depression. But depression is a natural state. It's natural to feel depressed if you lose love. So I think the stigma attached to depression is that when we feel sad or depressed, we can feel that we shouldn't feel depressed. We shouldn't feel like this 1 year later, maybe 5 years later, 10 years later. We've got to learn to deal with loss. It's part of the nature cycle, letting go, giving birth, renewal and death. The loss of love teaches us that life is fragile, life is very short, and we need to enjoy the moment. So when you are in love and when you're surrounded by your loved ones, appreciate them and be grateful for them. A sixth reason we can lose our identity. How we perceive ourselves is really important in terms of socializing and connecting with others. But at certain points in our life, we can lose our identity. Again, like in the loss of love, we can be so attached to somebody that our identity becomes wrapped up with them. And when we break up in a relationship separates, we can experience a loss of identity, a crisis of identity. And a crisis of identity is a healthy thing, because who we are is not who we are when we were 5. That's who we were, and who we were when we were 10 and 20 and 30 and so on. So it's natural that going through life, our identity is an evolving thing. We're not a fixed piece of software or hardware. We are evolving. Our experience of ourselves, our experience of identity is something that evolves. And sometimes we become over-attached to our identity in work. The job I do is not who I am, it's what I do. The relationship, who I am, whether it's husband, brother, friend, son, whatever, that's not who I am. It's part of who I am, it's an important part, but it's not who I am. Who I am is made up of a whole rainbow of experiences and colours that shape who I am, that come from relationships, come from experience of work, come from experience of creativity, from learning and education, from hobbies and from interests. All of these things shape our identity, and when we lose part of our identity, then we need to grieve, evolve and develop and grow, and realise that with the loss comes an opportunity to reevaluate, and that life is not static. Life is extremely dynamic and extremely vibrant, and our life needs to reflect that vibrancy. So when we lose our identity, we can feel depressed, but the opportunity is to re-look and reevaluate. Who am I? Who am I in this world? What mark do I want to leave behind? How am I experienced by others? Who am I? Who are you? A seventh reason why we get depressed is because we forget to appreciate the important things in life. And when you forget to appreciate the important things in life, you forget to be grateful for those things. And we take for granted relationships, work, positive experiences, aspects about our health, aspects about our life, our mental, psychological wealth, mental health. These are things that we need to value strongly. And if we take things for granted, we may lose them. And then when we lose them, we don't have them, we can feel depressed. By taking things for granted, we can assume that life is always going to provide us those things. But life doesn't. What life does is surprise us, takes things away from us, turns our lives upside down, leads us to be depressed as a result. But it's also an opportunity to reevaluate ourselves and rethink what's important in my life, what am I grateful for, and what do I need to be more grateful for. So don't take life for granted. Appreciate the small things and be grateful for the good that is in your life. And number 8 is we give away our power. When we give away our power, we disempower ourselves. We do this for all sorts of reasons, to be pleasing to people, that they like us, to feel accepted, to feel part of a group. We can give away our power, but when we give away our power, we become disempowered, we become dependent on other people who can end up controlling our lives, controlling how we feel and experience life. So when we give away our power, it can leave us vulnerable to feeling depressed and experiences of depression, and it can snowball, it can have a snowball effect that leading into a deeper depression. We feel powerless, we feel that we never had any power, any confidence, any belief in ourselves. So that can be an experience that can lead us to be depressed, and again it can be an opportunity for recovery, for recovering our own power and our own confidence and our own identity. And that's a really important part of recovery from depression, is realizing who I am, that I have power, I have rights, I have respect, self-respect and respect for others, and how I use that power in life is really, really important. To give to others, to share, to care and to be grateful. So the loss of power can lead us to be depressed, but it can also give us an opportunity to regain our sense of selves and our sense of inner power. By taking that power back, by owning our own power with humility and gratitude, we can be more effective in the world and influence more people and be more at peace with ourselves. Number 9, we can become depressed because we can develop what's called a dichotomy between what we think, what we feel and what we do. So it's like the separation of what goes on in the head, what goes on in the heart, and what goes on in our behaviours. And if our behaviours, what we do, does not match what we feel and think, then we can become very disorientated and very confused. It can lead us into situations that can cause us to become depressed. So in order to overcome the depression that comes from this lack of integration within the self, lack of balance and harmony within ourselves, we need to find harmony between what we do, what we think and what we feel. So what do we want? What do we feel? The things we feel strongly about are really the things that are most important. not the things we think about. So try and figure out what makes you feel passionate about life. Commit yourself to something in that area and try and achieve something in that area. So match between what you feel, your passion, how you think and what's gonna lead to this creation or this evolution or this, what are you going to evolve, what are you going to create from your passion. So integrating your passion with your thinking, with your behavior, is going to make you a stronger person, more effective person, and less likely to become depressed. And if you are depressed, by re-evaluating, are your behaviors matching your feelings and your thoughts, or are you compulsive? Are you addictive? Are your feelings dominating your behaviors? Are your thoughts dominating your feelings? Are your behaviors getting into situations that are causing more problems? So the solution is to try and find a way to integrate what you think, what you feel, and how you act in the world. And that can help you become a stronger, more effective person, a happier person, and a person that can deal with depression and when depression comes along. Number 10 is overthinking. Overthinking, Eckhart Tolle says, is one of the most addictive things in the world. When we overthink, we don't take risks. When we overthink, we don't express ourselves naturally. When we overthink, we try and play safe. When we overthink, we try and control the environment. When we overthink, we try and control relationships. So overthinking is addictive and harmful, and it leads to increased anxiety, worrying, and this can lead to depression. So if you are overthinking, maybe you should try meditation, mindfulness, learn to relax. I'm personally a person that can be very easily accused, or I have to admit, I overthink. I'm desperate for overthinking. Analysing and rationalising is the way I was born, so that's my tendency, is to overthink. So I benefit then from harmony, from relaxation, from holistic treatments, from trying to come back into the body through meditation and mindfulness and sometimes a bit of yoga. So again, number 10, overthinking. If you overthink, this can cause you to become depressed, and overthinking when you're depressed is a vicious cycle because you think around in circles and it's an ever-evolving circle that goes nowhere, and you don't allow others to influence you, or you become trapped in the maze of overthinking. So if you overthink, the opportunity is to allow yourself to come back into your body. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are part of who you are, part of the process of expressing yourself and your being, but you are not your thoughts. You are much, much more than your thoughts. So explore again your identity, how you think about yourself, how you define yourself, and how you look at problems. If you allow problems to become if you allow yourself to overthink about problems, the problems tend to get bigger. Thinking, rationalization doesn't always make things better. Sometimes walking away from that mountain and finding a new solution, a new way of approaching a problem can be the best thing you can do. I would love to know what you think. What's your experience? Any of these tips useful? Tell me in the comments below. If you like this video, give it an old thumbs up and share it with your friends, Facebook and Twitter, whatever. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd love you to subscribe and be guaranteed weekly content on natural healing, herbal medicine, plant medicine and food as medicine. Take care, and I'll see you in a video soon.